What does a town in a Welsh valley have to do with Stonehenge? And why did Turner, that famous artist, not only paint Tainton Abbey, but he came to Pontypridd? Yes folks, today we're in Pontypridd. This is a place Caroline and I have visited for years. We love shopping here. We are always making our way over here to have a look around. But today we're investigating further afield around the town. Now the noise you can hear in the background is partly all the children playing here in Pontypridd Park and the reconstruction that is going apace over the other side of the river in the town. Because while today we will be looking at a construction that may go back hundreds of years, there's still construction going on today to keep pace with the moving times. But of course, I just mentioned a river, and it runs right past the town just behind us, and it's the joining of two rivers, the Rhondda and the Taff, and there's a beautiful island just over the banking. And although we don't mudlark anymore or go out of our way to put ourselves in danger, it seems so safe to take a little look down on the beach to get started.
What is Phil up to?
Ah, I found a brick.
Yeah, well done.
But it's a broken brick.
Oh, does it say anything?
I'll wash it off and have a look now.
Sorry about the noise. As you can see, there is a lot of work going on over there. Amazing to think those shops are actually above the river though. Look at this lovely river. Even got some ducks.
Yes, we have B, and then an upside down A.
Ooh, interesting.
I think I've seen BB before, but I'll have to wait till I get home to check it out.
And for those in the know, for those who've been watching us for years, look what I found. It's a piece of ridged pottery. We're not going in the water today, but this stone is. Should we throw it in the water? Oh, I love throwing stones in the river. What about this big one? Hey, that was fun.
And with such a beautiful pond-like surface,
yes,
as these two rivers join here, the Taff and the Rhondda, it's only right I should have a go at skimming a stone.
Go on then.
Tom, look the other way, because you're so much better than me.
Here you go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that was. Woo! Well done. Look at these globe artichokes. Wow, I love these. And so do the bees. They're usually covered in. Ah, there's one in there. Usually covered in bees. And then if we walk along, there are some beautiful yellow flowers. There's one that I particularly noticed, stood out to me. It's a black and white one with a little bit of blue on too. I've never seen a flower like that before. No, look, somebody's putting a bouncy castle up.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of reminiscing on a riverbank, and of course another piece of ridged pottery. You can't have too much, can you? But this place is steeped in history, and that river plays a major part, as do the bridges that crossed it. The very name Pontypridd comes from the Welsh Pontypridd, which means the bridge by the house of earth, or the earthen house. And that relates to the wooden bridges that crossed this river. There were a fair few of those wooden bridges, but in fairness, there have been a fair few stone ones built since. And it's one of those stone bridges, built by William Williams in 1755, is what brought Turner, the artist, here in the 1700s in order to make sketches and create a watercolour, because he was so impressed by the bridge. And it is impressive, because as you cross over on the Victorian three-arch bridge and look to your right and see that high arch, you sometimes wonder how on earth did the horse and cart get over the top. And I do know from records I've read they did struggle. But the builder struggled too, because this bridge was his 4th attempt in 10 years. He took on the contract. His first bridge, that stood for 2 years. And then all the debris come down with the flood waters, pressed against the 3 arches, pushed it over. His second bridge didn't last 6 weeks. His third bridge fell down before he'd finished it. But the 4th one is still standing and has found notoriety and fame through the brilliant artwork of Turner. And of course, we can still see it today and walk over it. So the bridges are important. The river is important. But here's another little fact about Pontypridd. It wasn't always called Pontypridd, because when they built the new bridge, which is now the old bridge, everyone called this place Newbridge. And that stayed that way right up until the 1850s, when the local postmaster started to get very distressed by the amount of his mail that went missing and ended up in Newbridge over in Monmouthshire, where my dad was born. So he petitioned for a change of name, and Pontypridd was the name they chose. Well, let's get into town and have a look at them shops that Caroline and I like to visit so much.
Oh, where should we go on holidays? Oh, festive season in the heart of Germany. Deluxe stateroom, £1,475. And the romantic Rhine panorama suite, £2,395,000. You can go to Mallorca, to El Arena, for £477 per person for 7 nights bed and breakfast. And what about Sandals, Oki or Ochi, Jamaica, £2,669 for ultra 5-star luxury. Ooh, a bit of posh.
It's a charity shop, and you can be sure Caroline's going to go in and look for a bargain.
And there's my bag of bargains, 20 baubles for £1. What a lovely fountain. All the Welsh knots on this. Show you down there, very nice. It's empty now, looking a little unloved, but it can be brought back to life really easily. It's such a pretty thing. Aha, here's an estate agent. We got that bungalow up there, offers over £200,000. And Abercynon, £159,000. Glananant House, that's in Ynysybwl, Pontypridd, £350,000. Raygwen Park, £330,000. That's a nice big one, £650,000.
This is something you find quite often these days, and that is the chapels in Wales being converted into houses. And that's £300,000.
There we go, Bethel Chapel, Annisea Road, Porth. Guy price, it's going to auction, £300,000.
As well as the interesting shops and quite a lot of charity shops, which you know we love, Pontypridd is also developing. There's new buildings going up, there's construction work going on. It's why you hear all the noise in the background. And the buildings that I'm passing now, they are all new constructions that are really moving Pontypridd into the 21st century, good and proper. But one of the things that I noticed as I walked along was also lyrics written on the floor. And they are lyrics by Tom Jones, one of Manky's favourite co-stars, because Tom was born in Pontypridd. Well, it's time to leave the shops and the town and the park and the river as we go up. We're going to go on top of the mountain, high above the town, and find that link to Stonehenge. And just for you to know, this gorgeous building behind me, absolutely stunning. That's the new library. So here we are, way up on the mountain top, high above Pontypridd town.
On the tail of the serpent there is a stone. Whoever holds that stone shall have as much gold as they desire. Ooh! Let's go find our stone. In the early 19th century, this stone here and that outcrop of rocks there were famous, and people used to come here as a viewpoint, and they could walk right to the edge of the stone. Oh, be careful you don't fall, everybody, be very careful. And they could look out and see all the surroundings, but as you can see, not anymore. It's very noisy from the traffic and the trees everywhere. And over on this rock there's a little gap, and I don't know if you can see somewhere, oh I don't know, there-ish. It's a very, very busy road that runs right down there, and that's why you can hear the traffic is so loud. When we were filming, I saw a dragonfly and thought there must be water around here somewhere. And what do you know? What I spotted were the reeds down there. Look like some sort of water iris. So sorry if it's a bit bumpy underfoot. It is very bumpy underfoot. Let's go and see what we can see in this little bit of stagnant water. It's like a little pool before the water goes on down the hill and into the river. Oh, I was hoping we might have seen some tadpoles, but it doesn't look like a lot of life in this little bit. Bet it looked lovely when all these water irises were out though. I would say they were probably yellow. What do you reckon?
And here we are, high above the town of Pontypridd. You can still hear the noise of the traffic flowing through the valley as this basin creates almost a loudspeaker effect, carrying the volume up over the hills. But it was here that in 1814, Edward Williams created something that links Pontypridd with Stonehenge. Yes, this was a long, long time after the stones were dragged from Wales right the way through to Stonehenge to build that amazing creation there. But the link exists because Edward Williams wasn't just building a garden feature. He wasn't interested in just making something that looked pretty. He genuinely believed in the bardic ways, and he is by some considered a fantasist, but by everyone recognised as the man who probably brought the whole of the bardic concept into the 18th century and then beyond. And he did it here when he laid these stones, the rocking stone at Pontypridd.
Let's have a look at this rocking stone. It's huge, on top of another stone, which is then on some base stones. I put my hand in to give you some sort of perspective. It's rather large. Phil has just decided to climb up on the rock to see if it rocks. And look at that, it's a rocking rock.
Edward Williams was a bard. He had a bardic name, Iolo Morgannwg. And in the bardic tradition, he wrote some pretty impressive poetry. And I just want to share just the first verse of one of his poems with you now as we sit amongst these stones. As the sun so shy speeds to hide behind the western hills, I stand within this ancient circle with its rugged stones pointing to the sky, like the digits on a clock of time, the time that has refused to move, as if the keeper of this heather hearth has gone to bed, remembering not to lift the fallen weights of time and space. the very first time that Williams actually gathered together a group in order to carry out the bardic ceremonies was not in Wales at all, but he gathered 12 stones and a central altar stone, and they were laid at Primrose Hill in 1792. But it was here that he set up this stone that may have been placed in the 1800s, but was shaped by the Ice Age so many years before. And then in 1849, it was Evan Davis who took these smaller stones and laid them around in 2 circles, creating this space that has been used since for bardic occasions, but also for public occasions as well, as this point on the common, high above the town, became a focal point for the community. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this trip to Pontypridd, one of the shopping areas that Caroline and I love to visit on a regular basis. Hope you've enjoyed the history we've shared. If you have, please give us a thumbs up.
Doing, doing, doing.
And don't forget, till the next time we're out and about, have fun. Bye.
Bye.